Oh,
Well, I think
fuck
to do with
Biden, bro.
maybe all the sanctions on Russia part of it.
The United States stopped importing Russian oil or something to that effect. I don't know if I have the details quite right, but that's what I think. Part of that is definitely true. A lot of it is somewhat because America isn't energy independent. We don't produce a lot of our own energy anymore. But Russian oil is only about 3% of the oil that America gets. The price of gas was going up before Russian oil. We had our own energy, our own oil production. Be a lot easier and a lot more supply and a lot more reliable too. Yeah. That's a very interesting thought. I have not thought about that before.
So that's a pretty interesting response. So people know it has something to do with Russia. They've been told it's all Putin's fault. They kind of know there's a connection between sanctions against Russian energy and our own rising gas prices. What they don't understand is it's much deeper than that. They're blaming Russia. So there's a reason that people pushing this war love this war. It's all purpose excuse the disasters they have made, the disasters that benefit them. But if you take a look at the numbers, you see there's a lot more going on here than just a war in Ukraine, no matter what they tell you. In February of 2021, a year after the corona pandemic began, and a month after Donald Trump left office, the average price of gas in the United States was about $2.50. Since then, the price of gas has continued to rise. By last November, months before the Russian invasion, the per gallon average was $3.39. So no, the war in Ukraine did not do this. Putin did not do this. Putin did, by the way, sanction himself. Energy inflation is a direct and intended result of White House policies. The whole point of these policies is to make it impossible for you to use fossil fuels because you can't afford it, and then substitute those fossil fuels, which you could afford, with new green energy that you have no choice but to use. They're
But
saying that essentially out loud. Here's the Speaker of the House, third line of the President's Nancy Pelosi. Watch her explain that even though we probably could fix this problem by producing more of our own energy in the United States, which we own, which is the root of our prosperity, we're not going to do that. Because cheap oil would devalue her family's investments in renewables. Sorry, we didn't say that. We mean cheap oil would destroy the planet.
We cannot allow the fossil fuel industry as an excuse to reverse everything we're doing to save the planet.
You hear that? Everything we're doing to save the planet. Now, these are the people who preside over the dirtiest state out of 50, California, who don't go outside except in their own walled gardens, who know nothing about the environment, who could care less about the environment, who are trashing the environment, and who are raising your gas prices in the name of the environment so their families grow rich. We can't stop what we're doing. She's just saying it right there in English. We're doing this, which they are. So this is a lady with huge estates all over the country who brags that she's a $30,000 freezer, telling you just have to suck it up and be poor for the planet she doesn't care about at all. So who's benefiting from this? China's benefiting from it. We've already told you that. That's obvious. But the
we should
administration's
definitely.
benefiting from it too. And one of them is now the Secretary of Energy, Jennifer Granholm. Thanks to reporting from the Washington Free Beacon, which we are grateful for, we know that Jennifer Granholm held millions of dollars in stock in so-called green energy companies while she was serving as the Secretary of Energy. So you hold energy stocks while you're the Secretary of Energy. Where's the Justice Department? Jennifer Granholm did not sell these equities even after she took office. Is that a conflict of interest? Of course it is. It's criminal. But Jennifer Granholm didn't seem bothered. She knew she would never be charged with anything. The Biden administration isn't bothered either. This is the whole game. Make your donors rich by saving the planet. Jennifer Granholm is still running the energy department. Here she is explaining that her stock portfolio would really benefit if we, quote, decarbonized the fossil fuel industry. Why?
We want to invest in renewables. We want to invest in the technologies that decarbonize the fossil fuel industry to become energy independent with clean energy is the medium to long-term strategy.
So it does kind of answer one enduring mystery. Why would they put someone in as Secretary of Energy who knows nothing about energy, never been in the energy business, has no idea what the energy grid is, has no clue how your iPhone is charged overnight? None at all. And yet she's the Secretary of Energy? Oh, because it's an investment scam. And they're all in on it. Check investments right now in renewable energies. Since the man-made energy crisis that Joe Biden has sanctions.
Alright.
Mark Morano is the author of Green Fraud, Why the Green New Deal is Even Worse Than You Think. He joins us tonight. Mark, thanks so much for coming on. You've written and thought so much and reported so much about the Green New Deal. No chance Congress has ever passed anything like that because nobody wants it. But a war into which we are now being drawn because of their policies is a perfect
What
cover
do
for
you
giving us
seek?
the Green New Deal whether we want it or not.
I am in need of your help, Deborah.
You have done great deeds for the Senja and Anedas. I have not forgotten, so speak. I am listening.
I seek Vinbar, your High King. I know you were among those who last saw him. Do you know where he can be found?
The last time that I saw him, we were united in council at Dorhad Gennady. We needed to decide what to do about you, the Renaiksi, and we could not come to an agreement. Ulan spoke about all we could supposedly learn from you and obtain from you. Donkas spoke of maintaining a balance so nothing would change, and of course Bladnid and I spoke of battle. Vinbar remained unconvinced. He did not like you, but he feared the fighting with Scar, our island. He decided to go to the heart of the oil, in order to hear the counsel of Enol Milfrichtini. He told us that this retreat from the world would take time, and I have not seen him since.
He is still there.
No, that was a very long time ago. Speak to those close to him, in Wenshavar, in his village. Wherever he has chosen to disappear, he would have gone there first.
Thank you, Dedra.
You are a good friend that tried to kill me.
To get massive societal changes around the legislature and impose them by force. Is that what democracy is?
Well, then what they've decided is they're going to rule by emergency declaration, by crisis management. This is how they want to do it. The COVID emergency declaration gave us particularly blue states, some red state, every governor became a dictator virtually overnight as they imposed whatever mandate they felt like, whether it was masks, kids, vaccine passports, you name it, they could do it because they were empowered. You go back in history, the fall of the Roman Empire was due to the abuse of emergency power. The centralization of power, Middle Ages, the German Republic, 1933, 12-year declaration in Germany led to, of course, all the abuse in Germany. So this is how we got the Patriot Act, through this kind of crisis management. And now they're using, right after COVID crisis, they're going to pile on with this, and people would not volunteer to give up their cars, their SUVs, but now you have reports like International Energy Agency calling for stopping the car driving on Sunday, odd even license plates, lowering speed limits, SUV taxes, because we're in this energy crisis. They're achieving things they can never get through the election.
Things are about to get dicey.
Spy on Americans. One member of Congress finally has a plan to stop illegal surveillance of American citizens in America by our intelligence agencies. Okay, so here's a question we know the answer to. What's the point of American intel agencies? Couldn't be clearer in the law. The point of an American intel agency is to monitor what happens in other countries and then report back to the President of the United States so that he can make better decisions about U.S. foreign policy. Period. That's why we have the CIA. That's the only reason. These agencies are not allowed to spy on American citizens because that would invalidate democracy. But they're doing it on a huge scale. And they're doing it on direct orders from the Biden administration, not a conspiracy theory. It's verified. It's true. And new legislation from Congress seeks to stop that. This legislation has been introduced by Congressman Chris Stewart of Utah. Congressman is now to explain. Congressman, first of all, thank you so much for doing this. This is illegal. Nobody seems to care. We should care. What would your legislation do?
Well, to emphasize what you already said, Tucker, the whole purpose of the IC intelligence community, NSA, CIA, and others, is to concentrate on foreign threats, foreign terrorism, of foreign nation states, Russia, China, North Korea. It was never, ever intended that they would look at U.S. persons until this administration comes along and says, you know, those other threats are important, but the real threat we're worried about is
Dear Tomar, on Almanawi.
DVEs, they call them light
Escueto.
Hello. I'm sorry, but I do not speak your language.
Really? Then you are a Renaigse. I have never met one with the bond. Might I do something for you?
I am looking to find Vinbar, the High King of Tir-Fredid, and I was told that he was born in this village. He disappeared after visiting the heart of the island. But I was hoping someone here might know where he is hiding.
You should speak with Sarah. She is the companion of our king.
Where might I find her?
I do not know. She left the village and I have not seen her in several days. Anything else?
What can you tell me about your village?
Wenshava means the water of the peaks in our language. The sky is our roof, the mountain our cradle, and the birds our companions. They offer us their feathers that we weave with wool to make clothing that is appreciated by the Donegada. And also, of course, it is the village that has given birth to the one chosen for our Hoi King for many cycles. Anything else?
Well, I guess we're gonna find out. But you know, and it's not just
What can you tell me about the High King? You must know him well.
He is a great Donegada. Wise, just, and through him, the Enon Milfrictimen makes their voice be known. But he has been gone for several moons. What the mountain gives us, sometimes it takes away. And I, for one, believe that the mountain has taken him back. Anything else?
Tell me about Sarah.
She is a ferocious warrior. And like I told you, she is the Menundanem, the companion of the Hoi King. They gave themselves one to the other many cycles ago, and their bond is very strong. Perhaps that is why she has left. Because she no longer could bear his absence. Anything else?
Goodbye.
What I will say.
It turns out that years ago, when he wasn't trying to sell a vaccine on behalf of Pfizer, he had a very different opinion rooted in science, and we have the tape. It's interesting. Stay tuned. So the Biden administration has informed us that Thursday, yesterday, was International Trans Day of Visibility. At the Daily Wire, Michael Knowles pointed out the whole concept of a Trans Day of Visibility is a little ironic. As he pointed out, quote, the entire premise of transgenderism is we must deny our visible bodies for invisible gender identities.
But, dear Tumad, it is rare to see Renaigse here. Is there something I can do for you?
Transgender Day of Visibility. I want you to know that your president sees you.
I'm looking for High King Vinbar. I know that he disappeared after having visited the heart of the island, but someone here in his village might know where he went after that.
If anyone knows, it would be Sarah. But you will not find her here. Anything else?
Would you know where I could find Sarah?
She left to follow Vinbar. She wanted the mountains to take her as well.
What do you mean?
I don't know if Renaigse could understand. Our High King is on Olmenawi, and the Donegad. His bond with the mountain is very strong. Even stronger now that he speaks with the Enon Milfrictimen. Sarah knew that the mountain would take him back, and she wanted the mountain to take her as well. She went to attempt to bond herself to it. She sought the cavern of knowledge. We haven't seen her since. She might have succeeded. Anything else?
Defining sex, so what does that mean for the civilization?
Where is this cavern of knowledge located?
We don't know. The caverns of knowledge are the concern of the Donegada. Anything
Made in
else?
the image of God, right? He's referencing biblical language about the Imago Dei, but what he's doing is corrupting it. Because God
Thank you
made
for your
male
help.
and female, and
Well,
when you
said.
believe in Genesis or genetics, that is what everyone has believed basically up until 7 years ago. The biggest problem with this, or one of the big problems with this, is that this entire movement has been aided and abetted, I'd say, primarily by two groups. One, some of the most powerful
lie for a lot of different reasons, and that's where, you know, this detection deception, I like to look at it as, I don't try to find where they're lying, because once you start listening to someone and say, that's where they lied, you stop listening to everything else, because you're looking for that lie, that aha moment. I like to listen just for deceptive language, and different aspects of how people try to deceive.
Interesting. There's a little bit of overlap between what you're describing and what we do.
Oh, yeah.
You know, watching people with power explain what they're doing, what they plan to do, and certain words are invariably a tell.
Oh, yeah.
So, describe some of the deceptive language that you notice when you're talking to criminal suspects.
Well, let's take it from, a bigger, the one over the world type of look. When you're looking for someone, if you're listening to someone and you're trying to determine if they're deceptive, the first thing I look at is the balance of what they're saying, the balance of the statements. Because a truthful statement, a statement that has veracity, the majority of it should be about the topic at hand. Now, in the political world, you listen to any of these politicians talk, they do a lot of double talk, but if they ask the question, they'll answer everything except that, because they don't want to talk about the real answer.
Retired FBI agent Frank Runnels, amazing interview, super interesting and applicable to politics. For sure, that interview is streaming now on Fox News. Home prices are skyrocketing. It's essentially impossible for young people to afford a home. Will they ever have a chance to buy one, and why can't they? Why are prices rising at the rate they are? That's just ahead. We'll be back from Los Angeles, California.
Partir to mud. Partir to...
Never leave. Well, I hate to rain on Don Henley's parade, but people are bailing on California in record
Partir
numbers.
to mud.
And why the sudden
You are
rush
on
from the Golden
Almanawi.
State? Gas prices have a lot to do with it. Look, I know gas prices are high everywhere, but they're not even close to what people are paying in liberal California. The state's closing in on $6 a gallon compared to $4.21 nationwide.
Might I
And
do something
residents
for you?
I heard talk about a cavern of knowledge.
It's a place where the Donegada live. They hear the voices of those that went before them, and they learn. There are some on Tiafradi. The closest to our village is found to the northeast of here, but the entrance is sealed, hidden. It is a sacred place, a place for only the Donegada. Anything else?
I made that so much harder than it needed to be. Ah, shit. Fuck. Not a long day of work. This is gonna be another episode in parts.